We'd like to introduce him with his theme.
So today is May 1st. It's May Day. We celebrate a lot of different occasions on May. Today, May 1st, represents May Day, which is an international holiday, one we don't celebrate in the U.S., but this holiday celebrates workers' rights around the world. So my first question, if somebody wants to tackle, is there anything on this day you want to try to fight for as far as workers' rights? Top of the head. Happy Hour Fridays, nap room, anything you would like to fight for working on for workers' rights? Some other things we celebrate in May: Mother's Day, celebrate all the great mothers around the world. Memorial Day, all the great soldiers who served us in this country, and Cinco de Mayo, which Mexican heritage. I guess it's not really their Independence Day. It's just more of another reason to drink in the U.S., right?
That's right.
So, any of these days anybody have memorable experiences in the past, or ideally how you would like to celebrate this? What would be your ideal Mother's Day, Memorial Day weekend, right, or Cinco de Mayo Day? So, 4 different topics if anybody would like to try to tackle.
Good. All right.
I'd like to talk about Memorial Day. So Memorial Weekend, one of the Memorial Weekend is very special for me because on one of the weekends my son is born. When that is my first pregnancy. So during that time I tried to get my parents' help just after the delivery, but I couldn't get it because of the visa issues. My parents could not come. So right after the delivery, my friends and friends' husbands could come over to the hospital and could help me because it is a Memorial Weekend, everybody was on holiday, and that was the best.
Growing up, Memorial Day weekend in Arizona, we had summer break right before that weekend. I think in California you guys have it after. So it always kind of initiated that start of the summer for us. We always went on vacations. So, anybody else?
I'm a big fan of Memorial Day. It's a good 3-day weekend. After here at Ingram we have January 1st off, and then not until Memorial Day do we have a holiday. So it's a much welcome 3-day weekend, and I have a very exciting Memorial Day this year. My brother is getting married on Sunday, so I'm super excited, and it's a weekend of tons of festivities. It's here in Huntington Beach, but it's kind of a destination wedding for my future sister-in-law. Her family's from Jersey, and my brother and her both live up in Portland right now, so there's a bunch of people coming together, and there's stuff planned from Thursday until Monday night. So it's going to be totally crazy and hectic, but a lot of fun. I feel like I just have really good memories of Memorial Day in general. It tends to just always be super nice here, and I find myself just playing at the beach all day. That was my Memorial Day last year, and I actually met my boyfriend Memorial Day last year too. So it's just a good holiday, I think, all around. That's all I got. Okay.
And there it is.
Jennifer.
I just put on lotion, so excuse the greasy hand. It's quite dry out there. May. I have lots of wonderful memories, but I'm going to take it offline a little bit and tell you about my May, because this May is just non-stop. This weekend, well, let me start with last weekend because it leads up into May. We painted all of our baseboards, which you have no idea how many baseboards you really need until you start laying them out and painting them. And Miss Accident prone as I am, my foot got stuck and the paint went flying, and it's been fun all along. This weekend we're installing the baseboards, which I don't know if you guys ever watch HGTV. Never as easy as it looks. It's just not. So that should be fun. We're also doing an Olive Crest silent auction event. I'm on the philanthropic committee, so we get to go to that on Saturday night. Next weekend, is that Mother's Day? Okay, I'm getting confused. So that's Mother's Day brunch, and then, my boyfriend's side, my side, all that good stuff, lots of fun. The weekend after that, at 16th, I joined a bunco group, which my girlfriends call it my gym club or whatever that is. Gym club, that's what it is. Lots of fun, and I'm hosting my first bunco party, so that should be lots of fun. Part of the reason I need to get those baseboards in. That's the 16th, and then my mom and my sister are flying out to Washington. We're doing a Feed the Homeless event, little plug for any of those of you who are interested, on the 24th, Southwest Community Center. The weekend after that, we're doing our golf tournament for the philanthropic. We do it every year, our annual golf tournament. And I think I've got it all. I think there's some events in between there that I may have missed. But at the end of May, I'm going to be screaming, May Day, get me out of here.
Yeah, May just seems to be like leading right into the summer with all the busy events, the wedding season starts, and it's just usually crazy for everyone. Anybody else?
Labor Day reminded me a lot of the corporate working environment that we are all in, and that in this corporate environment is very similar to a story that I remember as a young kid, and that story is The Emperor Wore No Clothes, or The Emperor Wears No Clothes. And I don't know if a lot of you are familiar with it, but for those who are not, the emperor surrounds himself with a lot of his constituents who are obviously, for obvious reasons, are yes men. Yes men are straw type of employees, and you see them in the corporate environment that answer yes to everything that the boss says, regardless of how ridiculous that proposition might be. And one day, that emperor decided to get some new clothes, and he hired a tailor who, instead of making clothes for the emperor, squandered all his money and presented him with nothing. And he lied to the emperor and said, well, look, I made you the new clothes, and it looks very nice and it looks great. And the emperor asked all of his constituents, how do I look? And everyone, without fail, said, yes, you look great, your highness. But there was this little boy, and little boys are not privy to deceit, right? He said, well, you know why? The emperor is wearing no clothes. And it turns out that the boy has this sense of honesty that a lot of us don't have, because for whatever reason, it's to self-preservation in our environment. It's corporate suicide if you disagree with the boss, especially in public, right? And so I think it's important to note that as people, there are times when it's okay to say yes and to be agreeable, but there are other times I think it's especially important to make sure that you stand up for your conviction and fight for what you believe in.
Thanks. May. Start off with, oh, that's great. When I first came out to California, it was Memorial Day weekend in May. So it's kind of a special time for me. I've lived out here for 25 years now and have a family. I originally grew up in the Midwest in central Illinois, the land of Lincoln. We were farmers. And everyone always asks me, oh, I bet you don't miss the cold. I never minded the cold. I always kind of enjoyed the cold. The problem I always have is that time between the end of January, when snow starts to wear on you a little bit, to the 1st of May, is everything is wet, gray, overcast. So there's a feeling that comes out once you hit May, and it's just a very euphoric feeling where everything outside starts to effloresce. And so everyone is geared in towards summer. You're going to the lake, you're having fun, everyone is outdoor, everyone is in a great mood, and then you lead into the rest of summer, the rest of fall, and then back into the winter, which is the change of season, which is always nice. But May is always a welcome time of year.
There's that noise.
We have time for one more? Couple more. Anybody else?
I have this friend named Larry Welsh.
when I was working for the phone company, he was one of the vendors, and he had balding hair, and his mantra was, Larry Walsh, don't lose your hair over tape, it was like a tape project or whatever. So he always was cracking me up because he'd have his own picture and he'd say, don't lose your hair over worrying about your tape environment, call Larry the happy stacker. It was a tape, it's a whole big technical thing, but he would just crack me up. And we became really good friends, and I found out that his birthday was on May Day, May 1st. So I would always try to do something fun for his birthday. And every time May 1st comes around, I think of Larry Walsh, so I'll be posting Facebook today and I'll be sending him an email. But one day, about 10 years ago, I called him up on the phone, and this is before caller ID and before our cell phones would tell us who's calling. And I left him a voicemail, and all I did was whistle, "Happy Birthday to you." The whole song. And I hung up. I didn't say a thing. And I called him 2 weeks later, and I said, so did you get my birthday greeting? He goes, I don't know. Did you call me? I said, yeah, I whistled you happy birthday. He's like, oh my God, that was you? He said, he's 7 brothers and sisters, and they're a bunch of Irish family, and they're just always pulling tricks. I blamed everybody else, my kids, he has 3 kids, and my siblings, and nobody knew who whistled me happy birthday. It was you that whole time? And I said, yeah, Larry. So now I can't pull that on him again, but every time I think of May 1st comes around, I think of my pal Larry Walsh, and I just get a chuckle, and I want to just call and wish him happy birthday. And I'm going to call and whistle to him, but he'll say, Laurie Shapiro, I know it's you. I thought I'd share that.
I think we have time for one more. If there's, that's fine.
Okay, yeah, there we go. Okay. All right. Thank you, Aaron.